to get the sheets? All right. So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. It has been a pretty productive morning here so far. I got some tongue and groove up inside this office here. Hunter and I made a sheets run, and we have some other things planned for this afternoon, but I'll get back in here this evening and hopefully get this wrapped up in here. I mentioned the other day that this room, originally the plan was to be like a shipping room and for Melissa to have like her heat presses for the hoodies and hats and all that kind of stuff. But we've kind of outgrown it already and it's not even done. So we're gonna make this just an office right here, which will work great. We've got all the outlets up here. We've got like an L-shaped desk to put in here. Can charge all our batteries and stuff in here. Have a computer, should be pretty good. As far as the shipping room goes, it looks like that's going to be the entire garage pretty much. But things are going along pretty good here. I'm not the fastest at this, but it's coming out nicely. I got these two walls here almost done. Need to rip a couple boards across the top. I'm still debating on what to do where the wood meets the metal. To get a nice tight joint, it's kind of tough because you've got to get it up and over the tongue of the board below it. So you end up with about a 1/4 inch gap, maybe even 3/8 at the top. You can't really notice it, but I may just put little pieces of trim around that. But all I know is this is almost 3,000 square feet and there's not going to be a piece of drywall in this. All wood, metal, and concrete, which is what I like. But anyway, before we go any further, I've got a question for any of you that may know the answer to this. This is my DeWalt 15 gauge finish nailer, the 20 volt VMAX. It works well, but recently I've been having a bit of trouble with it. It may be something simple that I don't know, but what's happening is, and it's not all the time, but sometimes a nail, it doesn't reset, I guess you could say. You know, a nail doesn't advance, and you can kind of hear it when I'm running it. Once you drive a nail, you can hear the next one kind of go into place. When you don't hear that, you just pull back on this just a little bit and it'll reset. So I don't know if it's something I'm doing or if it's something that can be fixed. If you have any ideas, let me know. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Listen close. Okay, that drove a nail. No nail there. Hear that click right there? That's what I'm talking about. Nail. No nail. Listen. Hear it click. Let me know what I'm doing wrong or what it's doing wrong. Anyway, we have been inside long enough. It's a beautiful day out here, nice and cold. We got just a little bit of snow last night, maybe an inch. But it looks like it's going to stay pretty cold for the rest of the week, which will be good because I'd like to get out in the woods a little bit. And it hasn't really frozen up really all winter. I mean, a little bit here and there, but nothing like for a week or two straight, anything like that. But anyway, right now I'm going to go meet Melissa for lunch, actually a early lunch. She had some errands to run this morning and she just called, asked if I wanted to go get a bowl of soup, and I said absolutely. And then when we get back to the house, we're going to talk about the plans that we have for this upcoming year. Always this time of year, you know, try to figure out what you're going to do, what projects you're going to get into, what do you want to do, what do you have to do, all that kind of stuff. And I'll be honest, I'm at a bit of a crossroads and I'm trying to determine which path we should take, but we'll get into that when we get back to the house. 30 years of marriage and she finally started backing into her parking spot. I must have rubbed off on her a bit. All right, how was your lunch?
Very good.
All I had was soup.
It was good. It was good.
Very good.
I had soup and sandwich. It was very good.
I was telling them when I pulled in, all these years you finally back into your parking spot.
Yes, aren't you proud of me? I have a friend that backs in her spot everywhere she goes. I said, oh, you'd make Mike Morgan proud.
All right, I'll see you at the house.
Now let's see who gets home first.
So as I was saying, it's that time of year where you're trying to make plans for this summer and everything you want to accomplish for the year ahead. You know, things that you need to do, things that you want to do. And we are kind of at a crossroads right now, and I'll explain why. So this building right here, it's getting close to being finished. It's been 2 years in the making, and I know when we started it, everyone said you should have made it bigger. There's really no room up here to make it bigger. It's a pretty big footprint for where it's at right there. But we have basically outgrown this building, and it's not even completed yet. And then down here, you know, we recently had this equipment shed put up, and this is where the sawmill will go as well. The new sawmill, which I don't have any idea at this point when it's going to get here. I don't think it'll be too much longer. But yeah, that's where the new sawmill will go, at this end right here. And then over time, like this summer, what we're planning on doing, we'll take some of that white pine from down in West Virginia, put like a lean-to on this side right here. And once we figure out, you know, the workflow, we'll put some sides on this. We won't completely enclose it or anything, but maybe just help stay out of the weather, or maybe even some of those roll-up doors. Dean Kraut was telling me about a guy, he knows that does those, but this is basically filled up as well. And we don't really have the need or plans to buy any more equipment or anything like that, but we're pretty much out of space. And almost all of our property pretty much lays like you see right here. It's all pretty steep, except for one area that we're going to go check out here in a minute. Well, a couple areas, but one big flat area. So if you want to build anything or have any usable space, you definitely have to move some dirt. Like from here up to the building up there is probably only 300 feet, but we are about 20 feet, maybe even 25 feet lower down here on this level. So anything around the house here, down at the wood yard, we really don't have much room to do anything else, you know, to expand it all down this way. got these big valleys down here, and then you have these like ridge tops right here. Now if we were to build something else, this would be the first option out here, but there's still a lot of dirt to move and a lot of trees to clear right here. You know, even from right up here down to this level right here, you're talking at least 10 foot of cut up here to get this level in here. But this actually isn't a bad spot right here, and it's not that far from the house. House is about 150 yards over that way. There's a possibility in this area right here. Now don't get me wrong, we don't have to do anything. I mean, we have more space under roof than we ever have. We've got a lot more. It's not big enough, but we can definitely work with what we have. That's no problem at all. The thing is, we need to decide what it is we want to do. We have a lot of things going on, as you know, and I don't know. You know, I'm just trying to figure out, is now the time to step on the gas or maybe pump the brakes a little bit? I'm just trying to figure that out. As far as like the economy goes and things like that, I don't have good feelings about it at all. But that's not saying you still can't make a living and you still can't keep moving forward. But I don't have a great outlook for the economy, you know, in the next year or two, that's for sure. But we're just trying to figure out what we want to do. You know, it has been years since I like sat there thinking I don't have anything to do. We always have something to do, and we like that. I like staying busy all the time, and I'm just debating on whether we should, like I said, step on the gas or pump the brakes. You know, at some point, I'd love to have like a building just for like woodworking, and you know, we have a CNC machine. It's not even set up yet. We don't have room for it in the building with everything we have going on right there. It doesn't take up a lot of space, but it's just one of the things we haven't got to yet. I mentioned the other day, here probably before spring, that building will be all done over there, and we'll be focusing on the cabin down in West Virginia. That won't take too long. You know, they'll haul that in. We'll do the inside work, but it's not very big at all. But after that, we're trying to figure out if we're going to do anything, and if we do, where it's going to be. This area out here would absolutely be the best place to build anything as far as having flat ground. The mini cabin's over there about 100 yards. We wouldn't have to go that far. But the problem out here is it's such a long way from the road, probably 1,000 feet from the road, maybe even a little further than that, and take quite a road to get back here, which I can do that, but it's like getting electric back here would be a huge expense. I may look into that, try to get an idea how much that would be, but this would be a great spot for really everything, you know, like a whole new wood yard, a wood shop back here. Down there where we have the equipment shed, you know, that could just be for parking the tractors and equipment stuff, but you could move the whole wood yard out here. We've got some nice oaks over here on top of the ridge, you know, right next to the valley. Could leave all that stuff there. Everything in here, with the exception of that one oak right there, that's a pretty big tree, but everything else is pretty small. This area in here was actually a farm field probably 70 years ago. Yeah, probably about 70 years ago. And this stuff just kind of grows up naturally, which is why you see the bigger oaks over here. They didn't farm over there. That's why you got the bigger trees. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And believe me, I have not made any decisions at all. Melissa and I have been talking about, you know, what we want to do. But if we do anything, this may be the spot out here. We're just going to have to see. Plenty of room back here. Have probably 4-5 acres back here that's real flat or relatively flat. We wouldn't need all that space, but definitely would open up a lot of options. And before anybody says, oh, you're going to destroy your woods or something like that, I actually think we do a pretty good job of preserving our woods compared to everything else around here. All around us is housing plans. You know, they're just out the road. They start about a half mile out the road. And one of the last remaining farms just sold about a half mile from here. I think there's going to be another 60 houses there. So disturbing this couple acres right here wouldn't be a big deal, but we just have to decide if this is something that we want to do or not. We'll have to see. All right, now we need to head over to the wood shed. We're going to load up the sidekick with firewood for inside the building, and we'll go from there.